I want to cut Sticker Star some slack. Sure, it's easily the worst Paper Mario out of them all, but is it really that bad? The Paper Mario community did not receive this game very well, but the child in me really wants to give this game a fighting chance. So, to make this more interesting of a playthrough, I'm also going to see just how easy it is by attempting to beat the game without enemies dealing damage to us a single time. Okay, so I know I said I was going into this game with an open perspective, but I immediately have a problem. You see this thing right here? The star looking thing. You know what this thing is called? The Sticker Star, right? Wrong. There is nothing in this game called the Sticker Star. That is the Sticker Comet. So yeah, we don't get to have a Sticker Star. The story starts with Bowser touching the comet, basically getting unlimited power, and after getting absolutely folded by him, we have to go on an adventure to collect the pieces of the comet to defeat him. Huh, this sounds strikingly similar to another game of this series. We find Kirsty, who is the most annoying little friend, but you'll see just how annoying she is later. I run around, save a Toad who was folded 256 times, which obviously is not saying how many times he was folded in half, but is instead saying how many folds were made. See, he unfolds 8 times in total. 2 to the 8th power is 256. Y'all understand? Cool. I also grab some stickers and we run into our first battle. And we have immediately run into a problem. This fight already deals damage to us. It involves 3 Goombas and we have no way to kill all 3 of them at once. Sure, we can kill 2 of them with a well-executed hammer, but guards in this game suck and never block full damage. So, we immediately have to take 1 damage and the challenge is over. Wait, you guys believed him? Ha! Yeah, no, we're good. We get this thing called a Ba Hammer, which is basically like a sleepy sheep inside of a hammer, and it lets us put all the Goombas to sleep on turn 1, and then I can use the following 3 turns to finish them off before they ever wake up. In 1-1, we run into a Toad and he drops a Scissors Thing Sticker. Thing stickers are very powerful, but just like all other stickers, are single use, which is honestly a very good thing. If they weren't, it'd be like we were playing Thousand Year Door and just had infinite star power. It wouldn't be healthy for the game. Good thing these are like safety scissors, because I don't think I could trust Mario with regular scissors. Wait, Mario, no! Mario, be careful! Mario. So, Mario just killed a child. That's not great. Oh my gosh, he's alive. After narrowly dodging some intense legal trouble that could have been very damaging to Mario's career, Bowser Jr. breaks the time-space continuum, throws away our progression tool, and we have to get 5 Toads to make a little staircase ladder to get it back. Okay, but like, we've all heard of the Lion Ladder, but could one of every Pokemon really withstand the Toad Ladder? Makes you think. At the end of the level, we run back into the same 3 Goombas as earlier. Aw, but this time they folded themselves to make themselves sharp. That's so cute. We head to 1-2 and find a thing out in the wild. As discussed earlier, things are incredibly powerful, but only once they have become stickers. We don't currently have the ability to turn them into stickers, so we just store it away for later. With nothing else to do, we head to the end of the level and enter combat with another 5 Goombas. I don't know what this game has with just sending hordes of Goombas at us. This fight would be possible to do the exact same way as before, but in this battle, Kirsty actually does something useful and gives us access to the Battle Spinner. This spinner allows us to gain extra turns equal to the amount of matched tiles. So, with some extra turns, I can just use 2 hammer stickers and finish this fight quick. In 1-3, we meet Kamek for the first time. I don't know why, but for some reason, Kammy just disappeared in Super Paper Mario and then got replaced by whoever this was in this game. With 3 turns from the spinner, he is easy enough to beat before he attacks. But after the fight, I discover that just like Bowser Jr., this guy can also break space-time, and he literally moves the goalpost. I just know I'm not gonna like this guy. During our search for the goal, I walk into this random, unassuming cave. Oh, I think I just walked in on something. Sorry, Bowser, I need this. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I'll ever recover from this. Ugh. Oh, hey, end of the level. We get to 1-4, save a Toad, and bring him back to Toad Town. While there, we find Sling-A-Thing, a place where you can use Mario's sheer physical prowess to turn 3D objects into 2D stickers. I make a fan sticker and bring it back to 1-4 to move the windmill blades out of the way so I can go down the pipe inside. A giant Buzzy Beetle stands in the way of the end of the level, but I simply flip him over, put him to sleep, and then really put him to sleep. After finishing the level, I head back to 1-3 to actually end it through another direction, and then open up the path to 1-5. I dodge around some spinies, grab a power star, start up a big Rube Goldberg machine, and explain how over 95% of the people who watch my channel aren't currently subscribed right now. So you should fix that. Okay, anyway, the thing hit the thing, and yeah, end the level. We're at the end of the level now. Level 1-6 is practically a minefield. Well, actually it's like the opposite of a minefield because the explosives are above me and very clearly visible. Anyway, these bombs suck to run around because once they land, they just chase after you for a few seconds and then blow up, dealing damage outside of battle. But if you can weave between them just right, you can get by without taking any damage. A similar thing happens a bit later, but this time we are blocked by some fences and have to let the bombs blow up so we can progress. And then we get to the World 1 boss. The Mega Sparkle Goomba has a 90 HP and has 3 entirely separate phases. Even after I spend all of my turns getting him to half HP, I'm only through his first phase. We just don't have a way to deal with this boss, and World 1 doesn't have anything else that would allow us to beat him. So there just isn't anything else for us to do, and there isn't a way for us to beat this game without taking damage. Is what I would say if it was a bad game. Wait a second. This game actually has 3 worlds that are immediately available to us and are simply blocked by areas that require certain stickers to get by. We haven't been able to get those stickers before, but funnily enough, the trumpet needed to enter chapter 3 is right here before this boss. So after turning it into a sticker, we take it to 3-1 and wake up our good pal Wiggler to get past him. This world is easily the worst for this challenge in terms of the overworld. I mean, look at it. Poison literally everywhere. One missed jump, damage. One misstep, damage. And it's like that for the entire world. But genuinely, this level isn't too bad as long as I'm careful. Until the boomerang bro. This guy is so annoying. For some reason, the Koopa Bro enemies in this game are just sniper elites. Like, this guy's boomerang arcs and tracks you like a heat-seeking missile. How are you supposed to do this? Oh my gosh. Yeah, I spent at least 5 minutes trying to figure out how I could dodge these guys, but with some technical dodging and a little bit of luck when they just kind of decided not to throw for a little bit, I make it past and actually get into the fight with these two. The fight is much easier than the actual platforming, and with a flashy and shiny hammer, I beat them both. We head to 3-2, and it's Lost Woods, baby! We love convoluted mazes that send you back to the start all the time. So after doing this completely legit and not looking at Google at all, we make it to the end. 3-3 is Wiggler's house, and I gotta say, I love his choice in shoes. 20 little boots with one giant high heel really just speaks to me. This is where we find the objective of this chapter. We gotta get the band back together after Kamek split them up. So we head to 3-4 and begin a hunt for the Wiggler piece. It involves just a game of hide and seek and finding him over and over again, and I gotta say, he actually did slip away from me at one point and I lost him and literally ended the level because I didn't think he was still there. Can you see where he is? Here, take a look at this picture. No, you can't see him? Let me take a step real quick. You see that? That little sliver of pixels right there? They expect me to see that on the tiny 3DS screen? It's like 4 inches across. What do you want from me? We exit the level and it runs away to another level. 3-5 has nothing fancy in it, just straight to the Wiggler piece. In the second level that we find this piece in, you do combat, but with 16 HP, they are incredibly easy to beat. So we jump on it and head back to drop him off at the treehouse. 3-6 is the level that we are searching for to possibly deal with the World 1 boss. This shop is the only one that I care about in this entire game. It's practically the only place that you can get the secret door sticker. These stickers can be stuck on various spots around the world to open up secret rooms. And most of these rooms have some pretty cool things in them. And what do you know? Back in 1-6, you know, the place that we got stuck at, you can use the secret door to get the squirt gun. Literally the most stupidly broken and overpowered thing in this game. We turn our squirt gun and our elementary school safety scissors into stickers. I start the fight with a triple pow bingo, which crumples the Goomba, causing him to take 50% more damage and stunning him for the next turn. I then hit him with some stickers to put him into his next phase, and I use the squirt gun. And oh my gosh. Yeah, this thing is stupid. Did you see how much damage I just dealt? After taking the Goomba down to 1 HP, he has one final phase where he's just one little guy. But we saved our last sticker slot to deal with this. Kirsty comes out to congratulate us and... Wait, what do you mean I could have done this fight better? I literally perfected the fight. It said the word on the screen. I got rewarded for it. Okay, well, guess World 1 is done now. World 2 is a nice little desert that honestly just never proves too much of an issue. It's delightful. In 2-1, we take out some Paragoombas, get a Dr. Pepper, and finish the level. It's that easy. Then, in 2-2, two things happen. First, we have to fight 3 Paratroopas, and we line jump them to death. It's pretty easy. And then we find Kamek. And he proves to me that I will be hating him throughout this playthrough. He turns all of our stickers into sandals, basically making them worse versions of a hammer. You would think this would be a problem, but by just using bigger or more shiny versions, you can easily deal enough damage in a single turn. I still hate this guy though. 2-3 has nothing difficult in relation to the challenge, but it's a little annoying that there's no indication as to what direction I'm supposed to be going. It's worse than the forest from earlier. After getting lost and slowly making our way through, we grab a baseball bat and finish the level. I take a quick trip to the harbor to grab a vacuum cleaner. 2-4 has no combat, but I vacuum up an entire sandstorm and fix the oasis. And yo, this toad is straight vibin'. I also grab some ice cream on the way out. 2-5 doesn't have any required fights other than the boss, and to get to the boss, we have to climb up this big tower. It's full of a lot of enemies that are doing a lot of things to try to deal damage to us, but with some insane movement, we can dodge by every enemy on the way up. At the top of the tower, we find a baseball stadium, and on the pitcher's mound is a big old pokey. You might be wondering how I plan to beat this pokey without taking damage, since I already had to use our really powerful squirt gun sticker on the earlier Goomba fight. Well, what if I told you that I lied earlier? Things are not actually a one-time use. By either going back to where you originally got the thing, or by buying them for a decent chunk of change at this shady toad's shop, you can just have them again. This game would be just a little bit better if there was some sort of actual limit to how often you could use these things. Because with a POW bingo, a baseball bat, our squirt gun, and a single flashy jump, we perfect the pokey and beat World 2. Oh my gosh, Kirsty, I used 3 stickers. What do you want from me? To use 2? But now that we're done with Chapter 2, we can head back to Chapter 3 and continue where we left off. In 3-7, we fall down a pit and in order of importance, lose all of our stickers, our hammer, and Kirsty. There is one required fight versus a spider down here, and the only stickers we get are whatever we can find down here. To win this fight, you have to start by using 4 ranged attacks to break this web. But as soon as you break the web, the spider falls down and charges at us. This is 100% unblockable damage, and since we don't have Kirsty, we cannot attack him again before this happens. But again, before we give up on this challenge, let's go to another level and see if we can figure something out, because at this point, I don't know if we can. Now we're in 5-1. In this level, we have a few things to do. Beat up the natural ecosystem, weave between some Koopa Bros, and run into this freaking Shy Guy variant. The spear guy can sometimes be a really chill dude, just walking around holding a spear, you know? Because it's his name, and he's proud of it. But some of these guys don't seem to like their namesake very much because they got really good at throwing it away. I genuinely spent like 5 to 10 minutes just trying to get past this one spear guy. I can't even tell you how I actually started getting past these guys. Something just eventually clicked. After getting past 2 of these guys, I run into a room with 3 dancing spear guys. They run their separate ways, so I follow the one to the right. In this room, there are a bunch of chill spear guys that I just bonk a bunch to clear the room, which leaves us with the special one holding some paper. I lead him over to this man-eating plant and, no way! It ate a man! We start to head back and find a secret room in the background. Oh, hey, a thing. With his new thing, we head back to the main room, corner another spear guy, get his bridge piece, and then head to the left where we have to do, chores. With my floors clean, I find the last shy guy, take his bridge piece, place them all, and end the level. Huh, I think I can do 3-7 now. This is thanks to the Powder Puff. The Powder Puff has the broken ability of blocking all incoming damage for the next 3 turns. Yeah, you heard that right, 3 full turns. You may be wondering how this is actually helpful since we lose all of our stickers when falling down the hole. Well, there is a single room in the hole with a very specific selection of stickers. It takes them from your current sticker book. And the middle one will always be a thing if you had one. And luckily for us, I had just the thing we needed. Get it? Just the thing we needed. With our Powder Puff in hand, we hit the web 3 times, use the Powder Puff for its first turn active, take out the web on the second turn, and then finish off the Scuttlebug before it goes down and can deal damage to us again. After that, we grab our hammer, free Wiggler, and head to 3-8. Okay, fine, I also saved Kirsty, you happy? The 3-8 Wiggler piece apparently loves webs because he immediately gets stuck in one again after just escaping the ones in chapter 3-7. The only thing really of note here is that there's a really weird looking hot spring. Huh. I mean, those guys seem to be enjoying it. It couldn't hurt. Ow! What kind of hot spring is this? Oh. So we get to Wiggler, he tries to fight us, and I find out he can actually dodge attacks. Great! So with that in mind, I just restart the fight, hit him with POW blocks to crumple him, and then stun him to take it down. I bring the segment back to the treehouse and then head to 3-9. And this level is a nightmare. It is a playground of poison, but with my platforming skills, I had no issues. Okay, well, on attempt 2, I make it to the Wiggler piece and continue through the level. Okay, so on attempt 3, I actually make it through like the rest of the level without issue. Partway, I find a sponge. It's basically just another Powder Puff, but one that can specifically counter liquid-based attacks as well. This never comes up. With the sponge in hand, I go pick up Wiggler and end the level. It runs to 3-10. I hate this level. Not because of anything that's explicitly the game's fault. This is actually a very enjoyable experience normally. But this level is horrible in our challenge. So it's time to show you, sniff it or whiff it. This game show involves doing specific tasks while the room fills with poisonous gas. The first round involves answering quiz questions while standing in the poison gas. This would be a little scary, but when you hit the block to pick an answer, it freezes the poison timer. There is no penalty for getting a question wrong, so if you just keep hitting one side, you can answer like 8 questions before taking damage. So, round 1 is easily completed. Round 2 is, well, you can see for yourself. This round involves a whack-a-mole section in which I have to hit 20 sniffets. There is absolutely no way to do this section without taking damage. And no, this isn't like one of my previous fake outs where it is actually possible if I go get like some other sticker. This is genuinely not possible without taking around 9 damage. After getting through that, all that's left is a simple shuffle game. Fun fact, Mario actually looks at the correct box with perfect accuracy. So, if you ever lose it, just pick one of the 2 in the direction that he's facing. With that, we're done with Sniff It or Whiff It. Man, I'm glad we're done with that and don't have to do any more mini games. That sucks that we just took damage. Wait, Mr. Sniff It? You think I did a good job? And you want me to play another? Well, I can't say no now. He's just being so nice to me. We're like best buds already. But yeah, no, like I can't even say no if I wanted to. There's like a thing past this that I have to get to like progress to a later stage of the game. So I guess let's drop down and see what kind of game we're gonna do. Oh no. No, not another one. So this is another guaranteed like 8 or 9 damage, even with practically perfect play. Which means that we not only have to take damage in one situation, we have to take it in 2. So Is it possible to beat Sticker Star without taking damage? No, it is not. I guess the video's over. Now, well, hold on a second. I mean, me personally, I wouldn't say that these Sniffits are enemies, and like, come on, poison doesn't even do anything to them. Do you think they're just randomly getting Marios to come into their Sniffit or Whiffit game and partake in it? I bet Sniffits partake in this all the time and the poison's just part of the atmosphere. The host is like my best friend. So I don't think I took damage from an enemy there. That's all I'm saying. So realistically, challenge still up. Let's go. Why do I hear boss music? And why is there such a menacing aura radiating from this box? Oh. With our radiator in hand, we leave and chase the Wiggler segment to 3-2. And we're back to Lost Woods, baby! We go a slightly different way, beat up another Wiggler piece, grab a bowling ball, and head back to the treehouse. After this, we turn the bowling ball into a sticker and head back to 3-4 to hit some pins. This allows us to have access to 3-11. Here, we save a toad from a really easy blooper fight, and that's the only thing in this level. In 3-12, we fight the Wiggler piece and 2 bloopers. This fight ends without issue. The Wiggler gets upset about all the poison, but we bring him back home, put Wiggler back together, and can now have Wiggler take us to the chapter boss. The intended solution for this boss is actually to use that new sponge thing to absorb the blooper's ink attack and reflect it back at him. So what do you think we did? You guessed it. We crumple him, hit him with a strike, and gun him down. Who needs to use intended strategies when you have a gun? He's left at like a tiny amount of HP, but I easily finish him off with an orbital strike to take him down without taking any damage. Chapter 3, done. Now we can move on to Chapter 4. 4-1 kinda just has nothing going on. With the radiator, we can use it to single-handedly start melting the ice caps in the Paper Mario universe and reach the end of the level. 4-2 is fine. Dodging the penguins could be hard if you like sucked at the game, but I don't struggle at all and make it to the top incredibly easily because I'm a gamer. 4-3 is a big mansion full of boos that we have to find and trap in a book. Now, I won't bore you with the details, but there are a few interesting things here. We grab a bunch of boos, grab a refrigerator, a stapler, and an oven, which would have been nice to have a couple levels ago to dodge some damage, but it's fine, it's fine, I don't care. I find a stack of boos and use an Infinijump sticker that I found earlier in this level to deal with them. This is a 1 damage jump attack that you can hit the action command for 100 times. And so, we hit it 100 times. Most boos are really easy to deal with, but this one boo, I don't get it. Genuinely, how do they expect kids to figure out how to get to this boo? You know how you get past it? You remove the entire wall with the door that allows you to enter this room and swap it with the wall in the next room over. There is no indication that you need to do this, and there is no indication that there is even much of a room over on that left side. So why would I think to swap these walls? But hey, maybe I'm just a little stupid and everyone else figured this out way easier than I did. The last boo we get is this little guy who got crumpled in a trash can and is completely helpless. Sorry, buddy. The end of this level involves a boss battle against a giant boo. We head to 4-5 and hop onto a ski lift. This ride seems normal at first, but then the fuzzies show up, and the ice bros show up. Then the Paragoombas show up. The only one of these that's actually scary is the Ice Bros. All you have to do to dodge them is alternate swinging back and forth, and as long as you aren't literally standing still, you won't get hit. We reach the end of the level and then head to 4-6. And we made it to Disney World, let's go! Woo! So I've kind of been glossing over it, but there's this toad that we've been finding over and over again who's just not been having the best week. Every single time we see him, he's just getting absolutely destroyed by enemies. Now, all of the other enemies have been fights that are easily dealt with. I take them out and it's over. I've saved him. I don't know if I can do that with these guys because they each have 120 health. I don't want to deal with that. So I just pay them however much they need and get a secret door as a reward. I say goodbye to the toad. He heads back home because he's just sad at this point. Like, there's no coming back from this. He was gonna go on an adventure. He's not doing that anymore. This secret door sticker is actually our fast pass for the line. So we cut by the line and hop onto the roller coaster. For most of this ride, there is no fear of taking damage. That is until we get to this room. Here, we immediately run into 3 bob-ombs in a row. But we should be able to simply just jump over them and dodge any damage. I said we can just jump over them and dodge any damage. I said we can just jump Okay, so I can't jump over them. Okay. Not over. Now, something I never felt the need to bring up till now were max up hearts. These increase your max HP by 5 when you find them, but since I was doing a challenge involving not taking damage, I never really thought about them and only grabbed one if it was just in my path. But fun fact, apparently these do one very niche thing. For every 2 hearts you get, you increase the damage that you do on a first strike by 1. Yeah, it's practically worthless, except for right now, because these guys can be first struck, and fun fact, if you have enough damage to first strike and one-shot an enemy, you can just kill it without entering a battle, meaning that with a well-timed jump, I can hop over the first 2 and stomp on the 3rd to get past this section and reach the final boss of Chapter 4. This is the Bowser Snow Statue. Can you guess how we defeat it? No, not the gun. We have to give it a break. We have to. This boss has 4 phases. Each phase starts with the Bowser statue having snow armor, which decreases our damage dealt to him. But I can destroy the armor with a burn hammer and then use a sponge to make sure I don't take damage. I then use an Infinijump to take out phase 1 with 100 damage. He hits me again, but the sponge blocks it and then disappears. I use my powder puff to give myself a shield for 3 turns and then use a fire flower to break the armor again. Then I use the sick clone jumps I found while I was exploring a little bit of World 5 to knock him down to his 3rd phase. I use another fire flower to break the armor again and hit him with one more Infinijump to break the 3rd phase. Finally, with the last layer broken, it reveals Mr. Blizzard. My powder puff runs out, so I use my car sponge to block a few more attacks and use hop slippers over and over again until the snowman dies. With Chapter 4 down, we can finally get to Chapter 5 legit. We already did 5-1 to get the powder puff earlier, so I skip right on to 5-2, where I hop on a log and ride down the river. Don't judge me, but I definitely didn't know that you could control this raft until the 2nd level we used it on. Nothing is particularly scary in this level, and you don't even actually have to move the raft to reach the end. 5-3, however, is a fan favorite level that does require you to move around on it. Here we have the Cheap Chomp. Overall, this level's pretty easy, you just kind of continually move left and right and never get close to taking damage. 5-4 is a pretty long level, but there aren't really any required fights here. I do fight a hammer bro and run by some buzzy beetles, and find the only replenishable Infinijump in the game. At the end of the level, we find this sleeping chain chomp and break its post to let it free. Unfortunately, the only way to get past this chain chomp is by entering battle and letting it attack us. Okay, at this point there's like no fear. I mean, we have so many shields and can use so many stickers per turn. Literally nothing could stand in our way at this point. Now heading to 5-2, this level does nothing new. I do, however, find a hot spring that Luigi was hanging out at. But after the last hot spring, I don't know if I have it in me to try another. In 5-6, at the very beginning of the level, Kirsty gets munched, and I mean good riddance, am I right, gamers up top? Sadly, we do actually have to go fight Petey Piranha to get his crown, and thus have to save Kirsty, I guess. I begin by setting up one of my sponges to block Petey's attack. Then I use a POW block, both knocking Petey onto his back and crumpling him. Stuns against most bosses only last for 1 turn, but since this both knocks him down and crumples him, the crumple goes away while leaving him on the ground with his belly button exposed. This lets us hit Petey with an Infinijump, and since his belly is exposed, I deal double damage. So, with a single sticker, I deal 200 damage to Petey, bringing him down to 100 HP, and he spits up both a Dry Bones and Kirsty. So with Kirsty back, I use the battle spinner to use a few different stickers, block one last hit from Petey, and use one more Infinijump to finish off Chapter 5. With all of the royal stickers found, I head to chapter 6 and use them to reveal Bowser's castle, but he flies off into the sky. We can't do that. But apparently Wiggler has become a beautiful butterfly and is able to fly us up to the World 6 levels. There are 2 levels up here. 6-2 has only 1 required fight, but I do have to do a lot of dodging in the overworld due to Monty Moles and Fire Bros. Unrelated, but I have to say one of my favorite parts of this game was turning the Bonsai Bill Blaster around and causing it to blast through the entire ship. It's just such a fun thing to do. This level ends with a final Bowser Jr. fight, but honestly it's really easy. I grab myself a triple bingo, use my car sponge, and then hop slipper him. He can't really do any damage through the sponge, so I finish him off with the gun and my only Mega Flash clone jump. And now, on to 6-3. To begin the final level, we first have to fight Kamek one last time. Again, he turns all of our stickers into sandals, but this time, he doesn't leave their sparkle. This means that all of them deal the minimum amount of damage, and with his health pool of 20, it is going to be a pain to deal with him. He also puts 2 clones in front of him, each having 4 HP. I do, however, have to deal with both clones before ever dealing damage to the real Kamek. So the problem is, even if I triple bingo, I have to use my first 2 stickers to deal with the first 2 clones, and then have no way to deal the 12 damage necessary to kill the real Kamek in a single sticker. I'm just kidding. I start with a shock bingo to hit all of them for 3 damage, then take out the first 2 with some normal slippers, and finish off Kamek with a giant flip-flop sticker, which does a whopping 6 damage per hit. This quite literally kills Kamek. Like, there's no joke. He's just dead. After defeating Kamek, there is only one fight left, Bowser. So I make some quick preparations at Sling-A-Thing and come face to face with our final challenge of this playthrough. And honestly, it's my favorite one. To start, I hit a POW bingo to crumple Bowser, then shoot him down. Then I staple everything on the screen, including the doors in the back, which would constantly refresh the enemies in front of Bowser if I did not close them. Finally, I hit Bowser with some scissors. After he uncrumples, I immediately hit him with another POW bingo to crumple him again. This effect is so broken. I then take out the remaining Boomerang Bro with a flashy jump sticker. Finally, I hit him with 2 Infinijumps to deal the remaining damage needed. Normally, I would get hurt by trying to jump on Bowser because his sharp crown, but because he is crumpled, he loses any counter effects that he may have had. Once Bowser is at this low HP threshold, he normally would immediately attack me and go to the next phase, but because he was crumpled, I now have extra time to prepare. There are a few different counterattacks he can do. Either a Flame Breath, a Jump, or a Shell Spin. The jump can be blocked by a Spiny Hat sticker, so I use it and hope that he doesn't hit me. If he did one of his other 2 attacks, I would have just reset to my last save to try again. But luckily, he does do the jump, so I deflect it with the hat, and he brings out a Womp that I have to knock over. This can only be done with an Eek Hammer, which I so happen to still have. Once I knock it over, I can snip it to pieces with some sewing scissors, and then I set up a Powder Puff to block Bowser's next attack. He is now on the run and has surrounded himself with lava pools. Thankfully, this has a very intuitive solution. Ice Cream. Once I freeze the lava and the Potaboos, Bowser cannot hit us anymore, as he relies on his Potaboos to deal damage in this phase. So, after 2 attempts to attack us, he runs back even further to his last line of defense, a single Chain Chomp. We equip a tail sticker, counter the Chain Chomp, and knock him into the abyss, finally answering, if you can beat Sticker Star without taking any Bowser has come back in a stronger form and is only able to take a single damage from our attacks. We can thwart this by doing 200 single hits with some Infinijumps, and then I set up my sponge. Kirsty goes on some kind of tangent and turns herself into a sticker for me to use. Apparently this would be above. I don't know why I would want to use this. Wait. Oh my gosh, I can finally get rid of her. I immediately use her sticker and... oh my gosh, shut up. I'm getting rid of you. What's with the monologue? She does one good thing in this entire playthrough, giving me my damage back and allowing me the use of 5 stickers in a single turn. I get my groove on with the boombox, doubling my damage and allowing me to destroy both of Bowser's hands with some flashy jumps. After one more Mega Flash Eek Hammer, I use some more flashy shoes to drop him to 3 HP. And with that, I waste as many stickers as I can just to spite Kirsty and destroy Bowser with the power of the sun. And now we have finally answered the question that yes, you can beat Paper Mario Sticker Star without taking any damage from enemies. After returning all the pieces of the Sticker Star, wait, no, not Sticker Star, Sticker Comet, we look at it one last time before heading off. And how are you back?